Hello, hello. Welcome to the Mystic Path. This will be your full moon in Scorpio. Little chit chat and ritual here. I'm gonna use the Moonology cards here. I pulled out full moon in Scorpio as well as super moon because this is also the first super moon of 2021. Again, if this reading is finding you not in April of 2021 or not of April at all, that's okay. The messages will find you when you're meant to hear them on your timeline journey. So, don't get caught up in the time frame. As a full disclosure here, Watson, my cat, may join us for a cameo appearance. He's laying under the table. I hear him moving around, and the last video I filmed, in the middle of it, he decided to jump up and make a very up close and personal appearance in the camera. I mean, he got as close could get. So full disclaimer, while we're doing this, he may pop up to share his energy because he likes to do that. He likes to be involved. He's got very strong healing energy. As a cat and an ascended master as well. So disclaimer, he may join us, he may not. Okay, so first off, first super moon. This is a super moon and a pink moon in Scorpio. And what does that mean? Okay, we've talked about this before. A super moon just means the moon is closer to the earth than a regular full moon. That's what it makes it appear larger, and it's a little bit more intense because it's closer to the earth, so we can feel those energies more intensely because it is closer. Okay, so that covers the supermoon part of it. Once I'm done with my little chit chat, we'll read what the Moonology cards have to say about the full moon in Scorpio and the supermoon. I just like to channel with my gifts first and then see how accurate my channeling is, right? So that's why I do the book last. So I have not looked these cards up yet. I don't know what they say. So the first supermoon of the year makes things a little bit more intense. Like I said, it's closer to the earth, so it appears larger. That's why they call it a supermoon. And because it's closer to the earth, we're gonna feel those energies a lot more intensely than we would if it was just a regular moon, right? And then pink moon, what does pink moon mean? Well, that's basically from the Farmer's Almanac, and that's from like way back in the day. I'm talking way, way back, like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th centuries, way back in the pre time of our calendar, right? They used nature to kind of mark time because they didn't really have a way to do that yet. So the worm moon, the wolf moon, the pink moon, those were all like indicators in nature. So you can guess. The worm moon, what is that? When they saw more worms coming out of the ground at that time of the year. The wolf moon, what do you think that is? When they saw more wolves coming out that time of the year, right? It marked a particular time in the calendar, in the year. Pink moon, same thing. The pink moon just means at that time, there were lots of pink things in bloom, like things like pink moss, any kind of, and it's springtime, so that would make sense. Anytime you're out and about and you see pink flowers, pink blossoms, whatever it is, that's why, because it was this time of year, those things started blooming. There was a lot of pink around. So then when a full moon came, they were like, oh, this must be a pink moon because all of these pink things are blooming. Okay, so don't get so caught up in like the labeling of, you know, what they're called. Like I said, if this video has found you, it's found you at the exact time you need it. So, you know, it doesn't matter if, you know, it's not a pink moon when you're watching this. Like, the messages are still meant for you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. As far as the full moon in Scorpio goes, Scorpio is a sign that values privacy. It is also a sign of transformation and evolution. It's an energy that's very supportive of allowing new truths to be revealed, right? So, so you may find during this time that you're having some epiphanies, right? You're having like things click into place, like, oh, this all makes sense to me now, right? You might find that's happening right now because this is kind of the energy that helps us turn the corner. It helps us kind of break away from being stuck and being ready to kind of turn the corner into that new thing. So this Scorpio full moon is going to shine a spotlight on our deepest secrets and vulnerabilities, right? And like I said earlier, Scorpio is kind of allows new truths to be revealed. Well, during this super moon, full moon, our deepest secrets and vulnerabilities are kind of going to start coming up to the forefront. They're going to get a light shined on them. And that is going to in turn bring us to like turning that corner, right? To walking into the truth of our own individual power. So keep in mind though, you might be getting a lot of messages at this time, and they might be very personal, individual messages for you, and that's okay. Scorpio is a sign that values privacy. I think I might have mentioned that already. So during this time, whatever epiphanies you're having, whatever truths, individual truths that are yours that are coming up, you may feel this need to like keep them protected and to not really share any of these messages or truths or epiphanies you're having quite yet. And that's okay. Like Scorpio is a sign that values privacy. So it would make sense that any kind of epiphanies we're having, any kind of truths or shadows that could be coming up for us, it would make sense that we might hold those a little close to the vest right now. And not be willing to kind of like share those with the outside world yet. And that's okay. You know, it's okay to protect your energy while you're processing. I was called earlier to do a video about a very serious topic in this country that we struggle with, which is racism. And I won't get too far into it, but one of the messages that came through in that video was very similar to this. It's okay to like take your time to listen and process information before you react or speak back. Okay, so that just reminded me, you know, from that video, like this is that very much that energy. Like, it's okay to hold your cards close to the vest right now while you're processing the information. Because sometimes acting or reacting too quickly, you know, we end up with regrets because then we're like, oh, I didn't fully process that. Then I acted and that action wasn't necessarily right because I hadn't fully processed the information, right? So just keep that in mind. This is a time that a lot of stuff may be coming up. We may be in some tension, and this is a supermoon, so it's going to be even more intense than a regular full moon, right? So you may feel a lot of tension around you, and that's coming from like sudden realizations, epiphanies. It's coming from our shadow issues coming up, and what I mean by that is like our worst qualities come to the surface sometimes, and we have to face those shadow aspects of ourselves and heal them and deal with them and try to become our best self, right? And the only way we can do that is by dealing with those shadow elements. We can't ignore, like, and I'm just using this as an example, it's popping into my head, like greed. Like if you're somebody who's really materialistic and really greedy, and it's like you have everything you need, but you still feel the need for more and more and more, like that's not a super positive quality, right? So that would be something you would have to look at in the mirror. Why is it that nothing is ever enough? Why is it that I feel more and more and more? Why is it that, whatever. So I'm just saying, those are shadow. That's an example of a shadow aspect of yourself. It could be the same if you're somebody who's like a compulsive liar, and you just don't live an honest, truthful life. You're manipulative, whatever it is. I don't care who you are. Every single one of us has shadow aspects of ourselves. Even those of us doing years of work, right? I've been on this journey for years. 20 years about. I mean, actually probably longer than that if you count the fact, like when I was 10 years old, I recognized I had gifts, right? So, but I wasn't really old enough to understand everything. So I didn't really understand. I was like on a soul journey to better myself. So I don't really count that as part of my journey, right? So for about the last 25 years, I've known, like, I'm on a soul journey. I'm here to better myself, right? So even though I've been on this journey 25 years, there are still shadow aspects of myself that come up, right? That I have to deal with. Like none of us are at, like, the whole point of being here. Earth is like a school, right? To grow our soul and to evolve our soul. So none of us, I don't care if you've been on this soul journey and doing your work for 50 years, you're still going to have shadow aspects of yourself. We all do. That's just part of it. Okay? So I just felt the need to say that because I feel like somebody watching may be saying to themselves, well, that's not me. I don't have shadow aspects. I've worked on all my stuff. And let me tell you, I've been in therapy for a decade, and I've been aware I was like on a learning soul journey for 25 years, and I've been doing the work, and I still have things that come up and catch me off guard, and I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? Right? Like, I didn't even know I was capable of that gross quality, whatever it is. So we all have those, okay? So just keep that in mind. But again, like I said earlier, this energy is going to be really, really good for pushing us forward, turning that corner, looking at things from a new perspective, a fresh, new outlook, looking at the box from over here instead of over here. And this moon, there's going to be some of that. Like I was just talking about shadow stuff coming up. This Scorpio energy is ripe for anything you've been avoiding. It may come to climax now, and you may be forced or feel very pulled to like deal with it now. And you should like take advantage of this energy, right? Because this energy is all about transformation, evolution, allowing new truths to reveal themselves so that we can be our most authentic selves and stand fully in our power. So, when those shadow things come up, I try to and listen, I get it. Sometimes they spin you out of control. And sometimes it's like, I don't want to deal with that because I don't want to face that I'm greedy or that I lie or whatever it is. But if you can find the strength to face those things, full moons are great for that because you can deal with them, you can release it, and then you can kind of like move forward and change and shift into that little step higher, into that version of yourself, right? Higher version of yourself. all full moons are powerful points of release and powerful points of an opportunity for deeper awareness of ourself. And that's all very, very important stuff, right? Like, we need even our worst qualities. It's better to know ourselves fully and know what we're dealing with, right? Than avoid something. Like, I don't want to face that I lie, or I don't want to face that I'm greedy. I don't want to face that I manipulate. Those are things that if you face those things, and if you can shift into a higher perspective, then you can raise your vibration. You can evolve your soul one little step at a time. And if we do little bits of that every time there's a full moon, then by the end of the year, man, we've taken a big step, right? We've taken a big step instead of a tiny step. So anyway, just think about that, and think about the fact that, like, the energy is really ripe right now for turning that corner, for facing these things head on and bringing in the truth of ourself. And once you bring in that full self-awareness and full truth of yourself, like, that's when you can really step into your power and own your behavior and love yourself. Because, listen, none of us are perfect, right? We all got issues, folks. All right. So anyway, that's just my take on what's going on. Let's read in the Moonology Oracle cards, because I love these cards. Let's read what they say about the Scorpio full moon and the super moon. And then I have like a fun little full moon ritual that I'll share with you guys if you want to, participate in this kind of investigation of self during the full moon. Okay? So let's read the super moon first. Emotions are running high. So just like I was saying, the super moon makes things more intense, right? So emotions are running high. Things are going to be a little bit more intense. Oh, look at that. And I opened the book right to super moon. So that's how we know that's the one I'm supposed to read first. All right. This card suggests that the answer to whatever you're asking is writ large, like the silvery full moon set against the velvety night sky. If you're wondering how successful something is going to be, such as a job, a relationship, the answer is very successful. To use common parlance, the answer to your question may well be that it's under your nose. This card is about being larger than life, being special, and bursting with energy that you can tune into and work with. You can expect plenty of good things and a positive outcome, but you may find there's a lot of emotion to deal with too. There's a sense that the opportunities around whatever you're asking about don't come along every day. So take action. And then it says, a supermoon is a new or a full moon. Man, my nose is itching, and my nose really itches every time. These readings are really good. There's a lot of spirits around right now giving messages, and that always makes my nose itch for some reason. Okay, let me start again. A supermoon is a new or full moon that takes place when the moon is at its closest point to the earth. If it's a full moon, the moon appears around 14% bigger at the time. The moon is known as the queen of emotions. And during a supermoon, regardless of who you are, you can expect your feelings to be more highly charged. Okay? I prove, yep. All right, let's see. Full moon in Scorpio. Here it is. It says, it's time to release negativity. Okay? If you've been feeling paranoid and acting weird, take this as a very direct message from the cosmos to stop it. Worrying yourself is pointless. It's time to release any negativity you have around the situation you're concerned about. If someone has been unkind to you, perhaps it's time for you to release them. This card heralds an emotionally intense time, since both the full moon and Scorpio themselves are both extremely intense. It's time for you to feel all your feelings. There could be some nastiness in the air. If that is the case, take it as a sign to move away from anyone or anything you feel is toxic. For some, however, this card has a totally different meaning. Your sex life could improve now if you make an effort. That is not what I expected that to say. That's funny. It says you have all you need inside of you to bring about your desired result. It says, the full moon, the full moon in Scorpio has a sting in its tail. It can herald a vindictive end to a relationship. It can also be a time when we want to be good, but we're naughty. This card can indicate your dark side and your shadow qualities may be showing. The full moon in Scorpio is also a time of magic. If you were thinking of making some, this is your sign to do it. All right. So I feel like some of the things I were saying pretty much very much in line with these oracle cards. So let's quickly next talk about a little good full moon ritual. Okay, like I said, whenever you're finding this is when it's meant for you. You can do this full moon ritual on any full moon. Does not have to just be a super moon, pink moon, right? Any full moon you can do this ritual. It only takes about 30 or 40 minutes. And, you know, I do full moon rituals, not every full moon, but if I feel like there's something coming up or something I need to deal with or face, or then I'll do a ritual to kind of help get me clarity. So I just kind of wanted to share it with you guys so that if any of you needed it, you could use it. Okay, so with any kind of like ritual. Oh, and let me just mention this, because my guides have said this to me many times, so I feel like it's important to say that, like, you know, a lot of people will hear this ritual and they think, oh my God, voodoo, black magic, weirdness, blah. Okay. It's none of those things. It's honestly, a ritual is just you showing the universe that you're taking something seriously, right? So let's say, like earlier, I was using like greed or lying or manipulation as like a shadow quality. If you're doing a ritual to try to release and heal those qualities about yourself, you're just, by doing a ritual, you're just showing the universe that, like, I'm taking this seriously. I realize this is an issue I have to work on, and I'm going to start taking action to work towards it, right? That's kind of how I look at it. This is not like, you can't do this ritual and then never do any other work on yourself and think that you're just going to heal all your shadow selves, your shadow aspects, right? That's not how it works. Like, you have to have action, right? And this is just kind of like setting the intention to creating action moving forward. You can't, like, I've been in therapy for years. I talk about that on this channel all the time. I think everyone should go to therapy. It's the most empowering experience because you really get to know yourself with no judgment. And like, that's my action, right? I'll do a ritual like this to kind of set the intention. This is the thing I want to work on. But then every day I get up and actually work on that thing. I go to therapy that week. I, try in my interactions with people to be conscious of that behavior and try to pull it back or push it forward, whatever needs to happen with that particular behavior, right? So I just kind of want to mention that because a lot of people think like, oh, I'll just do this ritual, or I'll just pay somebody on the internet to do a ritual for me and it'll be magic, and then I actually don't have to work on myself. And that's just not how it works, right? You actually have to couple rituals with action for there to be any kind of result or good outcome, right? So I just wanted to mention that because my guides kind of somebody popped in with that. I don't think it was one of my guides, actually. I think it was a visitor we have, which all is welcome when we're doing collective stuff. So anyway, so I did just want to mention that. Okay, so if you're going to do any kind of a ritual, it's always a good idea to create and clear your space, right? So I've kind of already done that here because I always do that before I'm going to do readings or connect with spirit or anything, because I want to be a clear channel, right? So there's lots of ways you can do that. Some people use Florida water, which I like because I like the way it smells. And it also clears my energy. We'll just use a little bit of that right now. All right. Some people put this in a bottle, spray it around in their environment, clear the energy, right? Also, candles are a good way. I always light candles. Each candle has a different intention, right? Usually when I'm at this altar, we have like an energy clearing intention. We have a manifestation of healing and growth candle. We have an intuition candle, right? A protection candle. So I just create the space how I want. I've said many times on this channel, you don't need any of this stuff. You could sit down, just you yourself in a quiet room and connect to your soul and connect to the source creator energy. That's enough. Okay? So don't think if I don't have all these things, I can't do rituals or I can't connect or I can't use my intuition. That's not true. Okay? These are all just tools that help enhance, help us, what's the word I'm looking for? Help us focus our energy on what it is we actually want to do, right? Help us hone in on an intention. And some of it's just fun, right? Like, I love candles. I love crystals. I love smudge, okay? So smudge is another way to clear the energy in your environment. Some people use sage. This in particular piece smudge is rosemary, but I have some sage underneath that it's running out. That's why now I have a rosemary one. Okay. Crystals. Again, this is just my space. It's an altar I've created with, these were my nan, my Italian grandma. These were hers. These were my other grandma. She painted them, these eggs, right? My nan collected little glass shoes. So when she died, I got some of these shoes. I have it here on my altar because it makes me think of my ancestors, right? Brings my nan into my energy field. Brings my grandma into my energy field. Again, this is just the space I've created for myself to kind of sit down, journal, do work, whatever. So everybody needs to create their own space, follow your intuition, just do what makes you feel good. Your space could have nothing on it, and that's okay too, right? There are no wrong ways to do this stuff. I just want to bring that to your attention. The only thing you need is a quiet time and a connection to your soul. And that takes practice, so just keep that in mind. The rest of this stuff is just like icing on the chocolate cake, right? So step 1, create our space, clear the energy, which I've already done. Like I said, lots of ways to do it. There's also incense. A lot of people like using incense. Chimes. A lot of people tinkle chimes. I have some on the other side of the room though. But you know, tinkle the chimes to clear out the energy. Sound bath is another way. You can go onto YouTube and just type in sound bath, and there's all kinds of things that'll come up with different frequencies to do different things. So keep that in mind. All right, now step 1, create your space, clear your space. Step 2, you're going to sit, take some deep breaths, connect to your soul, to source energy, right? I like to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. Do this as many times as you need until your body feels calm, until it feels quiet, until you feel connected, like it's just you and your soul. Then say out loud, I cleanse, I let go, I release all that is no longer in my control. I feel my heaviness disappear. I am lighter, I am clear. My aura shines brightly, clear and balanced. I am aligned and stand in my power. Then I like to get a journal, pad of paper, piece of paper, whatever it is. And you can either free flow write whatever comes out without thinking too hard. Just start writing and let whatever comes out come out. If that's a little advanced, you kind of have to be really connected with yourself and been doing your work for a little bit for free flow to come so easily. So if you kind of have trouble with that, there are some journal prompts I have here for you that you could use to get you started, okay? I feel most blocked when habits that no longer serve me are. I release control over. I stress too much about. And then finally, it's time to stop. Okay? So these are just prompts to get you started. Dig deep, okay? Nobody's going to see this but you. This is between you, yourself, and the universe. And the creator, right? So there's no judgment. There's no reason to feel bad about what it is you're writing down or saying or coming up, right? This is just how we investigate the things we need to work on and heal. This is how we investigate the stuff that triggers us. Oh, here he comes. Come on, Bubba, you coming? He announced himself with a meow. Okay, so again, these are just starting points and fill in the blanks, right? It's time to stop, blank, and then you start writing out. Like for example, smoking, drinking, manipulating others, right? I stress too much about work, money, you know. These are just examples to get you started. And again, don't be afraid to dig deep. And And then read through your answers. Read through your free flow writing, because you'll learn things about yourself. Sometimes things come out of our subconscious. Here he comes again, up close and personal. Okay, bub. And sorry, people, he's moving the camera. You can't be moving the camera, bub. Okay, this is just a way, this journaling, this ritual is just a way for us to investigate the stuff that, you know, brings out the worst in us, because nobody wants to be their worst self, right? Right? So sometimes we need to bring those qualities out so that we can deal with them and heal them and change them, right? So again, approach this as just like what we said earlier. This is an opportunity to look at things from a different perspective, okay? So approach this exercise with no judgment. And then when you're finished, you might want to spend about 20 minutes or so journaling and writing this stuff down. Then when you're done, you're going to take your paper and either rip it up into pieces slowly or burn it in a smudge container, a piece of glass, or a bowl or something. Okay, don't burn your house down. And then as you're ripping it or burning it, imagine that you're actively releasing and letting go of all of those things that you've written down that no longer serve you. Okay? And then I love mantras. They've always helped me stay positive and keep out of depression. So then I have another mantra. As it's burning or you're ripping, you can say this mantra. Under the light of the full moon, I ask that all that no longer serves me, all that holds me back, all that inhibits me from being my truest, most authentic self, is gently and effortlessly released from my life. Thank you. And then I sit quietly with myself in a loving energy, right? I am not my most worst qualities. Those are aspects of me. They do not define me. Then you can clear your space again if you like. And that's it. It's a nice, simple little 30 to 40 minute thing you can kind of do to kind of sit and connect with yourself. And I have found them very helpful over the years. My guides have been nudging me for a while now to start sharing some of these things, because everybody needs a little help, you know, learning how to integrate and how to do this work. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm slowly sharing things with you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and please comment below if you are benefiting from my videos, if you like them. I would love to get more feedback from you guys. And I definitely this year want to focus on doing this channel and growing it a little bit. So please definitely let me know how you like the content I'm creating. And we're going to go for now. I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your evening, night, week, weekend, whatever it is. And with that, Watson's going to play with his bird toy. So we'll leave it there.